You're watching ABC 7 News at 7.
If you've overheard someone talking about this case, give us a call. Even the most minute part of information that you might have might be the break that we need in this case.
Months later, Jabez Spann is still missing. People are not talking. The family wants answers. How can you help? Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohen, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. We'll have more on the search for Jabez Spann in a moment. But first, let's head over to ABC 7's chief meteorologist, Bob Harrigan, with the first alert forecast. Bob.
It was a first alert weather afternoon, too, here along the Sun Coast. Now, we had rainfall rates 3 inches an hour, and that happened. We had 4 inches plus at Holmes Beach. The good news tonight is that the heavy weather is over. We will still see some showers and a possibility of an isolated thunderstorm as another little piece of energy moves in our direction, but not nearly as amount of energy still around for these showers to really intensify. So we will see scattered showers through about the 2 o'clock hour, and then things will start to clear quite nicely tomorrow. By midday, we'll look at sunshine. 4.3 estimates now coming out near Anna Maria Island, right there near Holmes Beach. 3.5 near, again, State Road 64 and I-75. We had some flooding in 9th Street into Bradenton, also along Manatee Avenue, as that rain came very fast and heavy. Now we had about 3 to 3.5 inches of rainfall into portions of Anna Maria Island, also in northwest Bradenton, estimates up to 2.5 inches there. You can see 3.5 near Onico. Lesser amounts as you push southward. Bayshore Gardens at 1 inch, just a little bit above that, and even less now on Siesta Key, although just about 1 inch at Gulfgate. 3/10 of an inch at Osprey, and then Northport getting over 1 inch of rainfall in a short period of time there. And these are estimates. Obviously, we'll have the complete totals coming up at 11 o'clock tonight. Cortez Bridge webcam showing it was tough driving conditions all throughout western portions of Manatee County. Here are some of those rainfall gauges. Holmes Beach over 4 inches there. Manatee High just to the north over 2.5 inches, and northwest Bradenton 2 inches of rain at Hawthorne Park. Now, as far as the futurecast goes, still indicating some showers scattered about throughout the late evening and early morning hours, and then we'll start to see the clearing conditions move in just after, say, noon tomorrow. We'll see the sunshine, cooler temperatures, and breezy conditions take place. We'll have more of the forecast coming up in a few minutes. Alan?
Bob, thank you. A follow-up now on an officer-involved shooting earlier this morning. The 2 Sarasota police officers and 2 others sustained minor injuries. One of the officers fired his handgun at a car that sped towards him. The alleged driver, Jeremy Trebles Jr., was a member of the Venice High School state champion football team. He was arrested in January on cocaine charges. He is still in the hospital and will be charged with aggravated assault. Sarasota Police Chief Bernadette DePino applauded the officers for making split-second decisions.
We're tired of the violence, all the gunshots and all the shooting. So we just want to help our young people before somebody really gets hurt, and this gun violence needs to end.
Sarasota police are still investigating. A recent road rage incident has law enforcement reminding drivers to take it easy. 2 drivers got mad at each other. Video appears to show the vehicle running a motorcycle off the road. The Florida Highway Patrol says incidents like this are happening more often, mostly because there are more drivers on the road.
In an instant, you can change your life for the worse. So let's go ahead and take the time, leave a little bit earlier, take a deep breath, and everyone will be good.
A local psychologist says most road rage incidents are not personal, so drivers should just let the incidents roll off their back. St. Pete police say they have caught the man they are calling the man bun creeper. They say the man in this surveillance video is Brian Hasselhoff, who is accused of taking video up of women's skirts at a Publix in St. Petersburg. Thanks to help from the public, they were also able to identify one of the victims seen in the video. Northport police are looking for people responsible for an increase in BB gun crimes. People who live around the Tropicare and the Ponce de Leon Boulevard neighborhoods should check their surveillance cameras for suspicious activity. There have been several reports of damaged cars in the area. A Manatee County school bus driver has been fired 9 months after being convicted of soliciting prostitution. 50-year-old Jerome Heaven was arrested in an undercover operation by the Bradenton Police Department in July of 2017. Heaven was convicted by a jury in February and sentenced to probation and community service. Today, Heaven had his termination hearing in front of the school board, something school board members say he had a right to.
No one that ever rode my bus could say that I mistreated them or done wrong toward them. Yet you want to fire me for something I wasn't even at your job. You weren't even paying me.
Legal counsel Mitch Teitelbaum is asking the board to terminate Heaven, which the board unanimously voted to do. Next week, the Florida Constitution Revision Commission will consider a dozen ballot proposals for this November's general election. Among them is a proposal that victims of crime and their families deserve more of a voice in the criminal justice system. The plan, dubbed Marsy's Law by supporters, is named after a California woman killed in the 1980s. It would create a crime victims Bill of Rights in the state constitution, ensuring victims of crime have the same rights and protections in the court system as those who are accused and convicted.
What we've heard time and time again is that victims are not getting notice about their cases. They don't have an opportunity to be heard. Oftentimes restitution has been ordered by courts for victims and they haven't seen a penny of it, and that's not right.
Syria says Florida is one of just 15 states currently without constitutional level protections for crime victims. Sarasota is being named one of the best places to live in the United States. It is one of only 4 Florida cities making the top 50 rankings in U.S. News & World Report's Best Places to Live. The rankings were based on quality of life and the job market, along with other factors. Sarasota was 34th in the ranking. Number 1 in our hearts. Still to come, it has been 7 months since Jabez Spann went missing. Why aren't members of the community talking?
We are problem solvers striving for answers. Relevancy on every platform. We are driven to create content that's compelling, engaging, where it matters. We are neighbors that care about solutions, believers in making a difference, leaders, innovating in an exciting era of multimedia, reaching to always be the gold standard in our evolving landscape. We are Raycom Media. Find your opportunity today.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Thank you! Grab your grass skirts and Hawaiian shirts and get ready to party. I'm Stephanie Roberts.
And I'm Joey Panic. Join ABC7 at this year's island-themed Best of Sarasota Bash at Selby Gardens on Tuesday, April 24th. Sponsored by Sarasota Magazine and PNC Wealth Management.
Celebrate the region's best of winners with hula dancing, Mai Tais, and authentic island fare.
Get your tickets today at sarasotamagazine.com.
One of the motivating factors for me to become a Big Brother was that I was mentored as a youth. And it was important for me to kind of pass forward the things that were kind of given to me. It's really just as simple as getting to know a kid. You don't have to be an athlete, you don't have to be rich, you don't have to have any of those other things. You just have to be willing to spend a little time and help mold some young person's life.
WWSB ABC7 is an equal opportunity employer, and we're looking for qualified people to join our dynamic team. For a list of current openings and to apply online, visit www.mysuncoast.com/contact/employment. If you're a motivated team player and you want a rewarding career in a fun, fast-paced working environment, WWSB ABC7 could be the perfect fit for you. Check out our list of openings now. Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Police are entering the 7th month in their search for Sarasota teenager Jabez Spann. We are going to keep his case in the news until we know what happened to him and why. ABC 7's Erica Jackson is here to share the latest on the Sarasota Police Department's investigation. Erica?
Alan, thank you. It's been a quiet few months in SPD's investigation. Police have received less than a dozen tips so far in 2018, but investigators are aggressively pursuing every lead that makes its way into their hands.
The day he went missing, he came through the porch and he grabbed me, he kissed me on the neck, and he told me, he said, "Granny, I'll see you later."
On most days, you can find Lucille Tillery sitting out front of her Newtown home. She'll most likely be wearing a washed-out pink shirt with her grandson Jabez's face front and center. A shirt she made after the teen's sudden disappearance.
I don't know what to think no more. I don't know what to think no more.
The missing boy is now 15, and his family still searching for answers.
Even if y'all done did something to him, please get him back to us.
This is a missing little boy. This is a family that doesn't have their son with them. This is a family that has missed a birthday, a Christmas, different holidays since he's been missing since September.
Genevieve Judge and the Sarasota Police Department have been actively pursuing leads since Jabez went missing Labor Day weekend. Investigators interviewed multiple people since opening the case last year, hoping to find new information, but have yet to name a suspect or a person of interest. Now, 7 months into the investigation, the number of leads is slowly decreasing. SPD only received 10 tips about the case since the beginning of 2018.
When this case first broke back last year, the leads seemed to be a lot more because it seemed to be in the forefront. And while it may not be in the forefront in the public, it is the forefront of the Sarasota Police Department at this time.
I believe he's seen something.
Tillery is convinced her grandson is missing because he was at the wrong place at the wrong time twice. Once when he disappeared from the front of her home, and a few days prior, witnessing the murder of 33-year-old Travis Combs. An affidavit in the case of 55-year-old Reginald Parker mentions Jabez possibly witnessed Combs' shooting death.
Somebody said he had told two people that he seen it.
You really don't know what happened until the story unfolds. When it comes to light, it comes to light.
Jabez's older brother, Romeo Johnson, is certain Jabez is still alive and says he has his own theory of what happened to the teen.
A lot of stories I heard was he was being held captive, but it's not, you can't even trust that because it's he say, she say.
The family is desperate for answers, still holding frequent searches throughout Sarasota, but they're now private, made up of just family and close friends.
They said some of the people that probably knew what had happened to him was on the search.
If you've overheard someone talking about this case, give us a call. Even the most minute part of information that you might have might be the break that we need in this case.
Judge is confident someone in Sarasota has information about Jabez's whereabouts and says the case is particularly challenging because community members are not coming forward with that information.
We really feel at the end of the day, at this point in the investigation, that someone in our community knows something. Someone is maybe even watching this part of the newscast and knows what happened to Jabez and knows that they know someone that has information.
Months after the teen's disappearance, Jabez's football jersey still hangs along the clothesline above his family's front lawn. And just feet away, Tillery waits for her grandson to walk through the gate, begging the community for the truth.
I don't want people to forget about him. I want everybody to remember that we still missing a little boy.
Investigators stress even the most minute piece of information could help them with their investigation. SPD, the FBI, and the FDLE are teaming up to offer a $50,000 reward for information related to the case. Call the police department or Crime Stoppers at 941-366-TIPS.
Erica, thank you. Coming up next, the latest on the Jabez Spann investigation next at the Trapezoid.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Did you know you could get life insurance in just a few minutes? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with just a single phone call, and you cannot be turned down for any reason. Even if you have health problems or are living on a fixed income, TruStage Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance policies could work for you. TruStage cares for you the same way you care for your family. In fact, TruStage policies are already protecting over 18 million Americans. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
My mom didn't have life insurance and the cost all fell on me. And that's expensive. We're still paying for that.
Yeah, we're still paying for that.
Call 1-800-809-8372 now. Any amount of protection can help, and you are guaranteed to be accepted. In just a few minutes, you can help prepare your family with protection amounts up to $25,000. There are no medical tests or health questions. And remember, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Getting life insurance can be fast and easy, and it could cost less than you think. Plus, your price will never increase, and your benefit will never decrease.
When I leave, everything will be taken care of for them.
Call 1-800-809-8372 now for a free, no-obligation quote. It's fast and easy. Plus, you get TruStage's 30-day satisfaction guarantee. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-809-8372 today.
Welcome back. Someone out there, perhaps someone watching right now, knows what happened to Jabez Spann. It has been time to come forward. Jabez has been missing since Labor Day weekend. It has been 7 months. He turned 15 in the interim. The talk is he may have been a witness to a murder. The only thing we know for sure is that he was last seen September 4th walking on 22nd Street, and his family misses him very much. And joining us now is Jabez's mother, Tawana Spann, Larry Levine, Jabez's uncle, and Bill Kemper, a criminology professor at USF Sarasota Manatee and the former police officer in Metropolitan Detroit and a cold case specialist. And Tawana, let me start with you. I know the last 7 months has been awful. How are you and your family doing right now?
Right now, it's just one day at a time. You know, no one has given up hope on what's going to happen. I still have people that are diligently searching and making sure things happen that it doesn't go as a cold case. I just would say it's just one day at a time. It has to bring some type of awareness at one point. That's what I would say.
What have the police told you?
What has the police told me?
In terms of where they are at right now in the search?
Well, a lot of the things that we have not discussed is due to the fact of it needs to stay secluded, because if it doesn't, and it could make the case worse than what it is. So they've been very, very quiet on what they're doing, but I know that they're still working. They let me know that they're still working.
Right, and I know that there's been, initially, we saw so many people in the community and people outside the community coming from other parts of the Tampa Bay area, from Pinellas County to Polk County, come down here and help the family in the search. That has slowed down considerably. So in terms of the family and getting people to come down here and search, where do things stand right now?
Well, it's, like I say, it's very difficult. It's a tough situation. We definitely appreciate the community, all the people that have reached out and helped from abroad, from close, the police department. We just need your help. It's very tough. I'm a father of two. It's very tough for my sister to be missing her child. It's my nephew. There's no words to describe it.
Bill, you have so much experience in cases like this. What should people who are watching this know in terms of, it's been a long time, we keep on hearing that the number of tips coming into police have slowed down. We also know that the Sarasota police are still very much working on this.
Well, I don't like to ever say things a cold case. I think that we diligently should investigate this case, and Sarasota is doing a good job. I think about the 8 days that this young man has been home and around and with friends. I personally feel somebody knows something out there. And maybe there's a fear factor, and I'll get into that a little bit later.
Did the fact that this happened around the time that Irma was bearing down on us, or around that time, really kind of have an impact in terms of, because police had a lot of other things on their minds around that time, and so did the entire community.
Yeah, I mentioned that in my notes. When Irma came in, that kind of changed the police direction. Not that they didn't want to work on it, but the emergency power was out, and that left, I'm not sure, what is it, around 2 weeks of problems in Sarasota and Bradenton.
Right. Tawana, how do you personally separate, and actually we'll get into this more in the next half hour, but the facts as you know them and the rumors that are out there, and unknowing what happened to Jabez?
You don't really separate it. You actually have to go through, and you have to go inch by inch. Every tip that has ever came in has been worked on. Every single tip that's came in. I have a PI that has given endless time. He doesn't even charge us anything. His family has sacrificed his time to help us with the case. Every tip that's ever came in, every rumor, if it led us into ditches and terrain, we've did every inch of, and still doing, still going at it just as hard as we were at the beginning.
Okay, we are just getting warmed up. We'll have much more on the search for Jabez Spann right after we get a check on the First Alert forecast, so stay with us.
Set your course for a waterfront lifestyle on Florida's last private island. Discover one particular harbor by Margaritaville. Nearby sugar sand beaches are as easy to find as the warm Florida sunshine. Waterfront residences from the high 400s overlook beautiful Anna Maria Sound, and a new marina with direct access to the Gulf of Mexico. Plus, incredible savings on move-in-ready homes. Come tour designer models today. Visit ophmintousa.com now.
Florida Studio Theater presents Blue Suede Shoes, celebrating the birth of rock and roll. From the father of rock and roll, Chuck Berry, to the king himself, Elvis Presley, this musical review features such great hits as Rock Around the Clock, Mustang Sally, Johnny B. Good, and of course, Blue Suede Shoes. Critics are calling Blue Suede Shoes a burst of rock history, dynamic and high voltage. Audiences are calling it phenomenal. Blue Suede Shoes has been held over by popular demand. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
You are home alone, an emergency can become a tragedy. However, with any of Life Alert's 3 emergency systems, help can be summoned immediately, whether in the bathroom,
I've fallen in the shower,
at home,
help, I've fallen and I can't get up,
and on the go.
Help, I've fallen in the park and I can't get up.
Don't worry, help is on the way.
Life Alert saves a life every 11 minutes.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-518-0221. That's 1-800-518-0221. Call now, 1-800-518-0221. For a free brochure, call 1-800-518-0221.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
Our conversation on the search for Jabez Spann continues right after we get a check on the first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Pretty impressive photos sent in today, Alan. I tell you, this is the shelf cloud. It's attached to the actual thunderstorm. Had it been separated, which it happens at times, it would be known as a roll cloud, but it's the gust front out of the heavy rainfall, and it was heavy. We're talking 3 inches in an hour. That was the rate at which it was falling. Richard Deers sending this photo into Facebook. And then Venice Craig, his last name was right there at the Venice Jetty at about 1:30 this afternoon, getting, again, another perspective of that impressive looking cloud formation. Another one from Bayshore Gardens, Debbie getting that. And Stump Pass, I made it all the way down there into South Sarasota County and Northwest Charlotte County. There's still some energy out there. We'll have to keep an eye on this. We're getting quite a bit of lightning strikes. That's parallel with our coast. And these showers are moving off to the east, a little drop to the south, though the front is sagging southward. I would not be surprised to see some showers and a few thunderstorms regenerating, say after 10, 11 o'clock tonight. They may last up until about 3 a.m. So we're not over with the rain, but it's not going to be nearly as intense as it once was because the energy that was around earlier today has been used up in terms of 4 inches plus at Holmes Beach. You can see that shower activity moving off to the east. It's not that well organized at this time, and there hasn't been a whole lot of, congregation of heavy storms together like we saw earlier today. But nonetheless, the rain is not over. Boy, heavy rainfall over the past 2 days. This is just the last 24 hours. But we're talking up to 6 to 8 inches near Ocala and near Gainesville for us. I mentioned the 4.3 there at Holmes Beach, and that all came within about 2 hours of time. That caused significant flooding problems. That water just has nowhere to go when there's that much rainfall. It just has a hard time getting into the river streams and the Gulf of Mexico. Live sweep of the radar, not showing any significant rainfall around right now. It's all just kind of clouds currently, and it looks as though, again, the rainfall totals a little less down south, but still pretty impressive, over 1.5 inches. We've been so dry here. We needed the rainfall, maybe not that heavy in that short period of time, but still we needed the rain. We're over 3 inches below average even now. 57 in Jacksonville, so that front is still just to the north of us. We have the rain cooled air here. Temperatures have cooled down into the low to mid 70s here across the area. 72 in Venice, Northport, just 1 degree warmer. The same in Braden, Cortez at 72. And the Gulf water temperature 78, so it's still pretty warm. Now, we're looking at some slightly cooler temperatures tomorrow. Highs will be in the upper 70s. Lower dew point temperatures means we'll see a much cooler feeling weather around throughout the day on Wednesday. Winds are out of the west at 8. Those winds will have to switch around to the northwest to show that that front has moved through. That hasn't happened quite yet, and that means the chance for showers will stay with us, as I mentioned, up to about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. 81 the high, 67 was the low, and rainfall, well, we had over 1 inch reported at the Sarasota Braden Airport. And for the month, the 1.31 inches. For the year, we're over 3 inches below average. Well, the storms were pretty heavy earlier today, and this was the forecast, again, showing the showers and storms out there in the Gulf of Mexico at times were very intense. Now, the satellite and radar imagery showing snow showers. That's right, winter refuses to budge. And with all that cold air to the north of us, we're going to see some of that spill southward, especially on Sunday. Sunday, another cold front comes down, and with it, another good chance for showers and some thunderstorms. We could see some heavy rain on Sunday. For boaters tomorrow, north winds at 15 knots. Seas will be 2 to 4 feet with a moderate chop out there, and it looks as though the forecast calling for sunshine to return by midday tomorrow. We'll see another beautiful day on Thursday, high of 81. A little bit warmer Friday. You'll notice that humidity value coming back up on both Friday and Saturday, just in time for that cold front, which will bring windy conditions, also a good chance for showers and a few thunderstorms on Sunday. Look at the cooler temperatures here, 58 degrees to start things off on Tuesday. Alan will be back with his guests right after this. Stick around.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Watch ABC 7 wherever you are, on our live stream, on mysuncoast.com, on the ABC 7 My Suncoast app, powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life, featuring traffic maps and live radar, dining with recipes, and My Suncoast Restaurant Guide. Visit mysuncoast.com. Click on the Apps tab to download the ABC 7 My Suncoast app for Apple and Android.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Thank you.
Everyone's buzzing about Suncoast View.
I like watching the Suncoast View.
I like the Suncoast View.
The cooking segments, I love the recipes. The theater segments are terrific.
Join Stephanie Roberts, Linda Carson, and special guests on Suncoast View for hot topics, everyday issues, celebrities, food, fashion, fitness, and everything in between. Nothing is off limits.
They're just fun.
For smart, fun talk in the afternoon, watch Suncoast View, weekdays at 4 on ABC 7. WWSB ABC 7 is an equal opportunity employer, and we're looking for qualified people to join our dynamic team. For a list of current openings and to apply online, visit www.mysuncoast.com/contact/employment. If you're a motivated team player and you want a rewarding career in a fun, fast-paced working environment, WWSB ABC 7 could be the perfect fit for you. Check out our list of openings now.
One of the motivating factors for me to become a Big Brother was that I was mentored as a youth. And it was important for me to kind of pass forward the things that were kind of given to me. It's really just as simple as getting to know a kid. You don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to have any of those other things. You just have to be willing to spend a little time and help mold some young person's life.
Welcome back. We are keeping the case of Jabez Spann front and center. The teenager has been missing since September, and we need your help to find him. Joining us for more is Jabez's mother, Tawana Spann, Larry Levine, Jabez's uncle, and Bill Kemper, a criminology professor at USF Sarasota Manatee and a former police officer in Metropolitan Detroit and a cold case specialist. Tawana, we often hear, and the police often say, someone out there knows something. And I know, again, we were talking about separating what you know and what you don't know, but what is the single biggest thing that you want to relay to the community right now in terms of the need for people to call in and help police?
I wanted them to know that I've spent like sleepless hours trying to figure out how this could happen, what made this happen, why. But if I had to tell anybody anything, Jabez witnessed a crime in a community, and the crime was due to lack of resources and chains of events that economically and mindset-wise caused a ripple effect. Our crime is increasing in Newtown. I want everybody to kind of stop just for a minute and stop looking at just Jabez. Jabez is a monument to show that there is an epidemic in Newtown that is spreading. If they are starting to take children, if that's not enough, it's going to spread. It's just an epidemic that's spreading. And our community is being infected by nothing but cruel and unkind, just unmoral things happening right now. And it doesn't have to be just a community. It's just being a human being, being a mother, being a father. If everyone woke up tomorrow that was a parent and one of their children were gone, what would they feel? What would they want me to do?
Larry, Jabez could have been anyone's kid.
Yes.
I mean, he was, by all accounts, a good kid, a football player, a good student, and a good member of this community who, like so many people, may have been in the wrong place at the wrong time and seen something happen. And, there may be people out there who at least also saw it happen, know where he went, know who took him, whatever. From the family's point of view, what do you want to relate to those folks?
Wow. Say something. When something like this happens, someone knows something. I mean, it's highly unlogical that a child at 14 years old just vanishes. I mean, someone had to see something. I mean, I don't wish this on anybody. The feeling and missing is something that you can't describe. You know, there's no closure, and I know that someone had to witness and someone saw something. You know, it's just we just need the community. We need someone that knows something. I mean, you can be anonymous. You don't have to, you know, there's ways that you don't have to get involved.
Okay. Let's take the opportunity, and I believe we have the telephone number for the tip line at the Sarasota Police. If we could put that up on the screen, 941-366-TIPS. If you have any information about the whereabouts of Jabez Spann and what happened and the facts surrounding it, you could call that tip line and leave information for the police to follow up anonymously. But, you know, Bill, as we reported off the top, over the amount of time, the number of tips coming into the police has diminished. From the police perspective, and you've been there many times, you know, what happens when the tips slow up, the amount of time goes by, there's a narrative out there which may or may not be true.
Yes, and the difference between a cold case and this getting a little warmer is the TV studio and the parents coming in and making this a little bit warm. When months go by, police still do their job. Sarasota done an excellent job putting off tip lines and everything. But as time go by, it just kind of gets pushed off on the shelf.
Well, what is the difficulty from the police perspective? And again, a lot of stories have been out there about Jabez witnessing a crime on a street corner nearby. So the police are investigating a murder and a disappearance, and there are people out there who do not like to talk. And there may be people who are in the picture who may not be cooperative. So what do you do?
Well, we had success in Detroit by using clergy. And we had a lot of police chaplains, and we had one Catholic priest, Father Francis. And I know a lot of people are afraid to call the tip line. A lot of people are afraid to get involved with the police, even though the police are doing a good job. But I would suggest we get another flyer out and involve the clergy. If somebody can come to the clergy, especially a Catholic priest, their canon law goes back to 1300, where they're completely in secrecy. A person can go to them, and they can go to the police, and they don't even have to know the name.
It's one we've heard stories about people going to the clergy around here, but
that's not. I don't think that's right now. That is definitely not something that I'm advising. Like my brother said, if you have information, just come forward. But like I'm saying, it's not just going to stop with him. If we don't pull together as a community, this is not going to just be Jabez. This is going to start affecting all of us.
Right. Specifically, the story was that somebody went to a local member of the clergy with some information. That was some information that was then relayed to the police, but not all of it, because the members of the clergy do have, just like sometimes lawyers have, a privilege. Yeah. That they can only go so far in terms of identifying people who come to them. In terms of flyers, how active have you been out there in terms of putting new flyers out and around the streets, just to keep it in front of people's eyes?
I just got like maybe 500 more flyers. I get flyers every single month. And as with the clergy situation, it wasn't just the bothersome of a preacher that was wanted to invoke a privilege, but it was invoked by a lawyer that is with our mayor. That's what bothered me. The same people that's supposed to be protecting us in the community was the one that invoked that very right.
Larry, have you been surprised in terms of the different reactions from the community, in terms of, you have had a lot of people who have basically put in time and gone out there and physically searched for Jabez, and then they're people who have not been as helpful as you would and the family would want them to be.
Yeah, like I said, I've been on the searches, and it's very emotional. And I'm definitely not here to I really appreciate our community. There's just a lot of people that are out there scared, and we need their support. We need each other's support.
And you know, that is the reality of a lot of these situations, that because of what Tawana has been talking about in terms of people living in fear, people are sometimes fearful in terms of talking to police.
Mm-hmm. Yes. If I may, I've done some research on college research and come up with something we might want to discuss. It's talking about observing criminal activity for a young man like him that's really a straight shooter. Well, if it says, and this is the college resource and college material, it says if a minor child spent time in an area where criminal activity is known to occur, this results in 27,000 or 12% of the runaways between 13 and 17 involved in this atmosphere. And a good portion of the 12% that interviewed ran away because they felt physically that there was a high risk they might be hurt. And one cliche they have in there is snitches get stitches.
And unfortunately, we'll have to leave it there, but we want to thank you all for being here tonight, and we wish you absolutely the best in the weeks and months to come. Before we go, we want to share with you what some of you had to say about last night's show on school board term limits. The president has term limits, so does the governor, but members of Congress don't. Neither do school board members, but there are those who are trying to change that, and we went to Facebook to hear your thoughts. Sam says term limits should be mandatory in all fields of government. Jen says members like Caroline Zucker, who have worked tirelessly to keep Sarasota County schools an A-rated standing for so many years, should stay as long as they want. Why fix what is not broken? Well, if you'd like to join the conversation on tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/mysuncoast.com.abc7. And FYI, you can watch past discussions on demand. They're available on Amazon Fire and Roku. And for the latest on local breaking news, don't forget to download the updated version of our app. If your current app doesn't work, it's expired, just go to the App Store and re-download it by searching for WWSB or My Suncoast. We want to thank all our guests for being here tonight. Jabez's mother, Tawana Spann, Larry Levine, Jabez's uncle, and Bill Kemper, a criminology professor at USF Sarasota Manatee and a former police officer in suburban Detroit. When we return, we'll have our consumer watchdog, Jerry Zivick, here to discuss how we can prevent unwanted calls. Stay with us.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
CashNet USA is trusted by over 2 million customers.
Perfect. When I lean back, I trust that you will be there to catch me.
Okay, bad idea, bad idea.
Apply now at CashNetUSA.com.
Money's on the way with CashNet USA.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Later school start times lead to more sleep and better moods in teenage girls. Details in Health Smart.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Florida Studio Theater presents Blue Suede Shoes, celebrating the birth of rock and roll. From the father of rock and roll, Chuck Berry, to the king himself, Elvis Presley, this musical review features such great hits as Rock Around the Clock, Mustang Sally, Johnny Be Good, and of course, Blue Suede Shoes. Critics are calling Blue Suede Shoes a burst of rock history, dynamic and high voltage. Audiences are calling it phenomenal. Blue Suede Shoes has been held over by popular demand. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blog, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Welcome back. The Federal Trade Commission is in a continuous battle to stop unwanted calls. If you're not on the Do Not Call registry, companies shouldn't call you out of the blue to try to sell you something. In reality, it's usually illegal. And here to dive into this more is ABC7's consumer watchdog, Jerry Zivick. You know, Jerry, doing this was your idea, but in the last few days, I have started getting robocalls on my company cell phone just before the show started. Somebody who wanted to talk about credit card protection. The other day it was a warranty for my vehicle. I would imagine if it's happening to me, it's happening to a lot of other people.
Well, I read a statistics that said there are over 2.6 billion robocalls or telemarketing calls every month. If you do the math, that comes out to over 8 calls per every American every month.
Well, number one, how are these companies getting your cell phone number?
Everything is out there. There's nothing that's hidden anymore. You know, data, I could find out your birth date, your social security number. There's no privacy anymore. We've been seeing this all over the news lately.
Right. So, you know, as we mentioned, the Federal Trade Commission has a do not call list. You should be able to sign up for it and stop it, but do you have to stop it both on your home phone and your cell phone?
Well, there are over 14 million Florida residents signed up on this do not call registry. The problem is telemarketers don't care who's on it. There's really no teeth. There'll be a fine. They'll go out of business, and they'll just come up as another company in another month.
So it's the cost of doing business.
Pretty much.
Now, there is an app that you could download on your cell phone, for instance, can it stop it from happening?
Well, there are apps that will block the calls. It won't stop it from happening. Some are free, some cost money. The downside with these apps is then you have to look at the privacy you're giving up. They need your contacts, they need your picture, they need your shoe size. You know, why can't they just, I'd rather pay a fee and get an app that's pure without asking for permissions.
So the bottom line is, at least right now, we're powerless to really do much about this.
We have all the power in the world. As you know, I had an alligator in my backyard last week, but they said if I would feed the alligator, they would come back. It's the same thing with the telemarketers. If we would not pick up the phone, when we don't recognize that phone number, we'd stop feeding the beast and they would stop calling.
And that is the best advice we could get tonight, Jerry. Thank you very much. Jerry Zivick joins us every other Tuesday in our For-Your Benefit segment. When we return, we'll have a final look at your first alert weather, plus President Trump thinking about firing the special counsel.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Rugs as Art. You know the name, you know the building, but do you know what's inside? Yes, Rugs as Art is Florida's #1 area rug superstore. But there is so much more. Amazing furniture, accessories, and art. All this and more. Come see for yourself. You'll love our personal touch and be pleasantly surprised by our affordable prices. Rugs as Art and more. There is so much more to explore.
My credit score was not that great.
I didn't understand what went into my credit score.
It was overwhelming.
Do you want to attain better credit health but don't know where to start? Credit Sesame can help by providing you a free credit score.
I love the app. It's so easy to use. It's like having your own financial coach.
Credit Sesame broke my credit score down into things that I understood, and it made me think I can do this.
And the awesome thing about Credit Sesame, it's free.
It's 100% free.
You don't need to go it alone. Get started today at creditsesame.com.
Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Your primetime headlines are coming up in a moment, but right now let's get a final check on our first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Well, Alan, I got to tell you that we have had some very heavy rainfall throughout the late morning, early afternoon, and now that has all shifted down south and east of our area. But get a look at the Cortez Bridge cam from 11 o'clock onward. You'll see the weather turns pretty bad quickly, too. We had rainfall rates up to 3 inches from about 11:30, 12 o'clock up until 2 across west central Manatee. And now flooding rain, yes, we did have some flood advisories at points, and some of the roadways were impassable. Whenever you get that kind of rainfall, it's tough, again, for drainage to take care of it. And Anna Maria had 3.45, Manatee High, just north thereof, had nearly 3 inches. Well, some scattered showers are still possible with an isolated thunderstorm. I wouldn't rule that out up until around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And then clearing by midday Wednesday. Sunshine will be out and it will be nice out there. Lower humidity, a little bit on the breezy side, and another cold front arrives on Sunday, bringing with it, looks like a first alert weather day, meaning that it's going to be rather disruptive, I think, on Sunday and Sunday night. Well, I mentioned the showers and storms are still out there, although most of it's to the south. You could still see a possibility of an isolated shower or two moving onshore later tonight. Now, there's just not enough energy left over from the earlier storms to produce any kind of widespread heavy rainfall for a long duration like we saw earlier, but still this shower activity holding on here just to the west-southwest of Venice, moving off into an easterly direction. So some light rain already getting set to move on into Siesta Key and Longboat Key. Rainfall estimates were rather impressive over the past 24 hours across the region, and we look to see a little bit more overnight. Nothing like we saw as earlier. We'll see maybe a 1/10 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch in some places, I think, as we move through time. Now, as far as the temperatures go, it is cooling down already over the Panhandle in North Florida. It's down to 57 in Jacksonville. We're not going to get that cool, but we will see slightly cooler temperatures tomorrow. 66 in Tallahassee, 83 though in Key West. Temperatures all in the low 70s now. The Gulf water temperature 78 currently. We have some clouds around 74. Dew point is at 65, and winds are out of the west at 8. The high today did manage to get into the 80s before the rains came, and at 90, the record set back in 1962. And even at the airport, we saw over an inch of rainfall there. And as far as the futurecast goes, we are looking for another cold front due to arrive on Sunday and into Sunday night. Another massive snowstorm expected over the northern plain states and into the upper Mississippi Valley, where parts in central Minnesota could see up to a foot of snow, and some lake effect snows occurring over parts of western New York and into northeast Ohio. Well, for boaters, winds out of the north at 15 knots tomorrow, and it'll be a bit brisk. Seas running 2 to 4 feet with a moderate chop out there. The extended forecast shapes up like this. 78 for your high tomorrow. Nice sunny through Friday. Even Saturday looks good, turning windy, breezy, and showers and storms on Sunday. Cooler with lows into the upper 50s on Tuesday morning. Alan will be back with primetime headlines right after this.
The La Musica International Chamber Music Festival, the annual celebration of a distinctive cultural gem in Sarasota, with renowned musicians from around the world. April 9th through April 18th at the Sarasota Opera House. Visit lamusicafestival.org, click on Festival, open tickets, and get your seats now.
Set your course for a waterfront lifestyle on Florida's last private island. Discover one particular harbor by Margaritaville. Nearby sugar sand beaches are as easy to find as the warm Florida sunshine. Waterfront residences from the high 400s overlook beautiful Anna Maria Sound. And a new marina with direct access to the Gulf of Mexico. Plus, incredible savings on move-in ready homes. Come tour designer models today. Visit ophmintousa.com now.
20 years ago, the moviegoers of Sarasota looked up at the silver screen and wanted something more. And they got exactly what they wanted. 20 years of some of the best independent films from around the world. The most iconic Hollywood stars walking the red carpet. The most glamorous parties in Southwest Florida. 20 years building up to the most exciting announcement in, well, 20 years. At the Sarasota Film Festival, April 13th to the 22nd.
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
Thanks to all of you who participated in ABC7's Caribbean Cruise Giveaway Contest. Join us as we celebrate our grand prize winner, Joy Schwekowski of Northport. Married for 13 years in June, Joy and her husband, Don, are excited to celebrate their anniversary on a spectacular 7-night luxury Caribbean cruise for 2. Congratulations, Joy and Don. Bon voyage. ABC7, we're here for you.
Checking primetime headlines, President Trump has fired many members of his staff, but he hasn't fired special counsel Robert Mueller yet. ABC's Karen Travers has more.
The mood in the Oval Office is dark. Sources say President Trump is angrier than he's ever been, set off by that FBI raid on his personal attorney, Michael Cohen. What will President Trump do next? Even his top advisors are bracing for what may happen. Monday's FBI raid on the office, home, and hotel room of his personal attorney, Michael Cohen, marks a turning point for the president when it comes to special counsel Robert Mueller.
It's an attack on our country in a true sense.
Mr. Trump was asked Monday, why not just fire Mueller?
We'll see what happens, but I think it's really a sad situation when you look at what happened. And many people have said you should fire him.
The White House Tuesday insisting the president has the authority to do that, even though the regulations governing the special counsel say only the attorney general can do so. In the case of the Russia probe, that's the deputy AG, Rod Rosenstein. It was just a few weeks ago when President Trump said he would like to sit down for an interview with the Mueller team. Negotiations between the two sides have been going on for months about whether it would be a face-to-face interview with parameters, a written questionnaire, or some mix of both. But now sources close to the president and his lawyers say the president's less inclined to sit down for an interview because he is now, quote, understandably less trusting of Mueller and his team. On Capitol Hill, Republican senators were bombarded with questions about whether they're still confident the president wouldn't fire Mueller.
That would be the beginning, the end of his presidency.
Chris Christie, an ally of the president and a former federal prosecutor, says he's advised Mr. Trump to not fire Robert Mueller. Christie says the president cannot make this investigation any shorter, but his actions could make it longer. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
And that is all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us and have a good night.
Florida Studio Theater presents Blue Suede Shoes, celebrating the birth of rock and roll. From the father of rock and roll, Chuck Berry, to the king himself, Elvis Presley, this musical review features such great hits as Rock Around the Clock, Mustang Sally, Johnny B. Good, and of course, Blue Suede Shoes. Critics are calling Blue Suede Shoes a burst of rock history, dynamic and high voltage. Audiences are calling it phenomenal. Blue Suede Shoes has been held over by popular demand. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting FloridaStudioTheater.org.
When money's tight and emergencies arise, CashNetUSA.com is available 24/7 to deliver quick loans for approved customers when they need it the most.
Apply now at CashNetUSA.com.
Money's on the way with CashNet USA.
WWSB ABC7 is an equal opportunity employer, and we're looking for qualified people to join our dynamic team. For a list of current openings and to apply online, visit www.mysuncoast.com/contact/employment. If you're a motivated team player and you want a rewarding career in a fun, fast-paced working environment, WWSB ABC7 could be the perfect fit for you. Check out our list of openings now.
Selfless service is the guiding principle of every Army National Guard soldier. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. To be an Army National Guard soldier is to serve something greater than yourself. Learn more at NationalGuard.com.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC7 weekdays starting at 5.